When we read the story in the Gospels of the woman who touched the hem of Jesus' garment and was healed, there's much more to it than just her healing. Now imagine, for 12 years, she's been bleeding, and she hears of this miracle worker, and she seeks to do everything she can to just touch the hem of his garment. The first question is why the hem of his garment? But it also is worth noting that she shouldn't have touched him at all. According to Levitical law, this was something that she simply should not have done. She's not supposed to touch Jesus, but she does so anyways. And yes, for healing. She desires healing and she hears of this miracle worker. But there's even more to it than that. She would not have been able to go to the temple. She would not have been able to offer any sacrifices. She would not have been able to participate in any of the festivals. And while that seems a little foreign to us in the 21st century, in first century, that was everything. And so her relationship with God in that sense was completely severed because of this incident. So while touching the hem of Jesus' garment brought physical healing, it also brought a spiritual healing that we often miss or don't understand in the context of the first century. This woman touches Jesus' garment and she's instantly healed. And this is what is really amazing. We can see in the Dead Sea Scrolls that this was a discussion among the leaders of the time, and they would discuss whether if something was pure, touch something that was impure, would that pure thing become impure, or would the impure thing become pure, right? Which was it? And based on Haggai chapter 2 and their ongoing discussion, they concluded that if something was pure and touched something impure, that the impurity would spread, that the pure thing would become impure. And this is what is amazing, because you have Jesus who is pure and holy, and you have the woman who is impure based on the bleeding issue. She touches him, and his purity comes out and completely restores her. Now, I just want to clarify real quick that because she was impure of the blood issue, this has nothing to do with sin. Purity and impurity aren't always about sin. So, from the best of our understanding, it sounded like it was a medical condition. But it's amazing that even in his healing, Jesus is setting right the discussions that the Pharisees and the leaders were having at this time, that the impure is cured by the pure and holy. Purity, then, it overcomes impurity, and Jesus confirms this. But why the hem of the garment? Well, not only was she seeking healing because he was healing, hearing stories of a miracle worker, but also based on a prophecy in the book of Malachi. So she actually didn't touch just any corner or any hem of a garment. She touched what was a tzitzit. And this is found in the book of Numbers, and it's representative of obedience to God and walking in covenant faithfulness with him. And so she sought to touch the tzitzit of his garment. And why? Because Malachi says there will be healing in his wings. And in Hebrew, this word is kanaf. And it can also mean the corners. Like it could read, there will be healing in the corners. And what was in the corners of the garments that the Jewish people would wear and that Jesus wore? It was the tzitzit. And so it's believed that this prophecy may speak on healing in the tzitzits of the one who comes in the name of the Lord. And so her faith in these prophetic promises led her to seek out and touch the hem of Jesus' garment to be healed. And not just to be healed of her blood issue, but to fully get her relationship restored with God. And this is what I love about God's word. We can read it and see just an amazing thing that happens, a miracle. But when we dig deeper and dive more into the context of what is going on, there's so many layers of what is happening here. She's physically healed. She's spiritually healed, spiritually restored. Her relationship with the Father is completely restored. She's acting on prophetic promises. And not only that, in the midst of that, Jesus is also confirming how purity works in the kingdom. And this is magnificent when you study and look at just this one little story in the Bible. So if this teaching resonated with you, consider subscribing and following, because this channel is all about digging deep into the Word and how we can follow closer to Jesus and how we can walk more like Him. And so I thank you for watching. Be blessed.